Deathworlders received an SOS, they sent a full fleet instead. The signal. The distress call was faint, wrapped in static and desperation. It echoed across the void, bouncing through relay buoys until it reached the border of Terran space. "This is Outpost Theta 7, a strained voice pleaded. "We are under attack. Civilian transports disabled. Enemy forces unknown. Request immediate assistance. Please." Then silence. The operator on duty froze. Most species would have logged the SOS, filed a report, and maybe sent a patrol weeks later. But the operator was human. And humans were Deathworlders. Within minutes, the signal was flagged, classified, and transmitted to Fleet Command. And Fleet Command didn't hesitate. 2. The call to arms. On the Terran flagship Indomitable, Admiral Aisha Cade stood tall as the orders flashed across her console. "Admiral," her aide whispered. "Protocol dictates reconnaissance before fleet deployment." Cade's eyes narrowed. "Not for us. Not for ours." She tapped the comms, her voice carrying through every ship docked at the orbital yard. "This is Fleet Command. An SOS has been received. Civilians are in danger. You know the doctrine. We do not send scouts. We do not send fragments. We send everything. Ready the fleet." Across space, thousands of Terran warships came alive. Engines roared. Weapons charged. Carriers prepared their wings. When humanity answered a cry for help, it did so with fire and steel. 3. The outpost. Theta 7 was little more than a mining colony, 5 domes, 2 landing pads, and a population of 6,000. Hardly worth the attention of an empire. But the Tarkesh had chosen it as prey. The insectoid marauders swarmed across the skies, their spiked frigates blotting out the sun. They disabled transports, herded civilians, and laughed at their fear. "Pitiful creatures," the swarm leader hissed. "No one will come for you. No one ever does." Then the stars shifted. 4. The sky burns. At first, the colonists thought it was another wave of enemies. Hundreds of shadows appeared in the upper atmosphere, growing larger by the second. But then the Terran insignia blazed across the clouds. The Indomitable emerged from hyperspace, dwarfing the colony below. Behind it, an armada unfolded like steel wings, battleships, carriers, destroyers, gunboats. 1,000 ships, all for one outpost. The Tarkesh swarm leader froze, mandibles clicking in disbelief. Impossible. They mobilized a fleet. For this. Admiral Cade's voice cut across every channel. "This is the Terran fleet. You attacked civilians. You will surrender immediately, or you will not leave orbit alive." The first strike. The Tarkesh did not surrender. Their swarm surged forward, plasma cannons blazing. They expected a fight. They expected resistance. They did not expect annihilation. Terran railguns thundered, firing slugs at near-light speed. Enemy frigates split apart like paper. Missile barrages lit the heavens, carving fiery scars across the void. Fighters poured from carriers, swarming the swarm with ruthless precision. On the ground, colonists cheered as the sky turned into a canvas of fire. Children who moments ago hid in bunkers now pressed their faces to windows, whispering in awe. The humans hadn't just come. They had come with everything. 6. The enemy breaks. Within an hour, half the Tarkesh fleet was ash and debris. Their swarm leader screamed across comms. "Why? Why send so much for so little? It's madness." But the humans had no interest in explaining. The Terran doctrine was older than the fleet itself. One cry for help is answered by all. It was written into their bones, born from centuries of surviving on a death world where hesitation meant extinction. When family screamed, You came running with fire in your hands. And now the galaxy learned the price of testing that creed. 7. The turning tide. The Tarkesh fought with desperation. They unleashed chemical clouds, kinetic hives, suicidal rams. But the Terrans matched them at every turn, adapting, countering, crushing. Admiral Cade watched the tactical display with cold focus. Do not leave survivors. They thought us prey. Let them carry this message in death. Her fleet obeyed. By nightfall on Theta 7, the Tarkesh were gone. Their fleet, 40 strong, reduced to wreckage drifting in silence. The Terrans lost only 3 ships. 8. The rescue. Dropships landed at dawn. Marines poured into the domes, helping civilians, delivering food, medical kits, blankets. Admiral Cade herself walked through the colony streets. Children ran to her, clutching her uniform, their eyes wide with gratitude. A colonist whispered, voice breaking. You brought all this for us. Cade knelt, her gaze steady. Of course. You called for help. That's all that matters. For humans, there was no calculation, no weighing of cost against value. A life was a life. A cry for help was absolute. And every survivor of Theta 7 knew they would never be abandoned again. 9. The aftermath. The story spread faster than the battle reports. Across the galaxy, species whispered in shock. The humans, they sent a fleet for one colony. They fight like extinction itself is chasing them. Mercy isn't in their vocabulary. Loyalty is. For the weak, it was hope. For predators, it was terror. Because it meant this: if you harmed even one human, the wrath of an entire fleet would fall upon you. The lesson. In the council chambers of the Tarkesh, the surviving generals hissed in fury. Madness. They waste their strength. No empire fights this way. But an elder, scarred from a dozen failed wars, shook his mandibles slowly. No. Not madness. Memory. They are children of a death world. On their world, they survived by answering each scream as one. And now, they carry that lore to the stars. He lowered his gaze. And now we have woken the fury of Deathworlders. 11. Legacy of the signal. Weeks later, Theta 7 rebuilt. Where domes had cracked, new walls rose. Where hope had faltered, it now burned bright. In the central plaza, a plaque was placed. They called for help. Humanity came. And above it, etched in steel, the doctrine that shook an empire. One cry for help is answered by all.